Monty and I have been testing leather iPhone cases for about 6 months now, and there's been a lot to figure out. So I'm going to share with you guys all the things that I've learned in order to figure out what the best leather iPhone case is. So let's get started. So what are the different types of leather used in leather iPhone cases? How many have we come across, Monty? Yeah, 3. First, we have full grain leather. This is the real deal. It's the whole hide complete with all the natural markings. It's thicker and harder to work with, but it's also the most durable. Full grain leather cases equivalent to going to a really fancy restaurant and ordering like the 27-course chef's menu, the thing where you just eat till you die. Next, we have top grain leather. It's smooth and stylish, kind of like a black dress or, a gray suit. It's made from the top layer of the animal hide, but it's not the whole hide. This type of leather is like going to a fancy restaurant, but just ordering a main course and not anything else, just so that you can say you've gone to that fancy restaurant. Last but not least, we have PU leather. PU stands for pseudo unleather. I don't think that's right. Plastic upgraded. No. Polyester's ugly twin. No, it's much less interesting than that. It's polyurethane. This leather isn't real, but it looks kind of real, feels almost real, but isn't real, and is the cheapest of the 3. It's like going to a fast food restaurant hoping for a fancy meal. You're gonna get what you pay for. At the end of the day, it's gonna be about personal preference. It's gonna be about the finish on your case. Do you want the authenticity of actual leather, or do you want to go with some of the smoother stuff? Or are you just a PU poser? Let's talk about patina. Let's talk about wear and tear. Now, if you didn't know, patina describes the character your leather product develops over time, just from using the product. Things in your environment will affect the patina, things like how greasy your hands are. The leather patinaing, I know that's not a word, is one of the very few things in life where the more wear and tear you put into something, the better it looks. It's like the age-old question of nature versus nurture. Except in this case, is it pleather or is it leather? Full grain and top grain leather will show wear and tear like they've earned their scars, like a grizzled veteran who's been through it all. The wear and tear is worn like a badge, but the fake stuff, it can't handle life's little battles and shows every scratch, rip, and blemish like a frazzled nudie. Now, the upside with PU cases is that the look generally isn't going to change unless you scuff it up really bad. Whereas in the real leather cases, we'll have stories to tell of how you dropped the iPhone while eating a donut while trying to scratch your eyeball while Monty is outside taking a dump on the deck. The next thing that Monty and I had to figure out for leather cases was how do you tell the difference between a fake and a real case? First is the smell taste. Real leather has a unique scent to it that can't be replicated. So if you're wondering if the case is real, just Step number 2 is to scratch it. Real leather tends to show scratches a bit easier than fake leather, so take a fingernail and see if it leaves a slight mark. If it does, it's probably real, and if it doesn't, it's probably fake. This one's kind of hit and miss because the finish of the product will dictate how well it scratches. The third test is the water test. Real leather will soak up a drop of water like a sponge, but fake leather, it just kind of lets it sit there and just over time evaporate. Because absorbing water isn't cool. I can attest to that because all I've been drinking is coffee instead of water for the last 3 weeks. It's great. Friendly reminder, I'm a reviewer, not an influencer. Everything you see in these videos, I bought myself and I review them. No one's paying me to do these reviews. That's the way I like it. If you want to stay on top of all the unsponsored content I produce, make sure you hit the subscribe button. All right, crazy eyebrows, let's keep going. How are leather cases when it comes to handling? First things, on average, leather cases will handle better than your normal iPhone case. The texture of the leather just makes it easier to hold onto your device, but certain things will make it feel moist. We'll talk about moistness in a bit. The feel of the case will depend on the type of leather as well as the design of the case and the finish. In general, there are 3 types of cases. Type 1 is the most common. Lots of companies will buy a bunch of cheap TPU cases and then glue a piece of leather onto the back of it and sell it at a premium. Most of the time, these cases feel like garbage because your hand spends most of the time around the garbage case. Take this keyway case for an example. The case is brutal, but the leather on the back of it, full grain leather. And they're selling it at a premium. This doesn't make any sense to me because other companies like Mouse will take their premium case and add leather to it, which makes sense because when you're buying a case, you should be buying it as a case first and the finish second. Now, the second type of design involves having leather wrapped around a thin polycarbonate core. Products that fall into this category include like the Apple leather case, the Black Book case, and things from Mujo. This is a very comfortable type of case as your hand sits in contact with the leather all the time. The third type is a mix of the first 2. You have a case with a piece of leather that's wrapped around most of the edge. Belroy and Nomic cases kind of fall into this category. These types of cases handle more like traditional cases as the front edge where your fingers aren't touching the leather. This type of case is good for those who want the look of a leather case but not the handling of a leather case. Now, when I say moistness, I'm talking about how these cases are porous and they'll absorb water, and so if you got really sweaty hands, then your case is going to get really sweaty. Is the durability of leather cases any good? Honestly, certain leather cases are like ticking time bombs. Drop your phone once in a fully wrapped leather case and watch as those fancy leather corners turn into a scuffed up mess. And again, as I just mentioned, leather is porous and leather loves to soak up oils and liquids, so it'll only look worse for wear if you're really greasy and might start smelling like a gym bag, or at least whatever smell your favorite moisturizer is. So that's fun. You get to add cleaning my iPhone leather case to your daily to-do list because we all need extra chores, don't we? Another issue is the use of MagSafe accessories. Leather has a bit of give, and when pressure is added, will dent and stretch. These 2 real leather cases, you can kind of tell which one has been used with a pop grip, huh? Can't you? Now, it's nothing like a little bit of heat can't fix, but that's just another thing you have to deal with in trying to keep your iPhone leather case looking, well, normal. So I guess every once in a while when you're blow drying your hair, you just blow dry your iPhone case. Yeah, I know it's tedious. Your eyebrows are so crazy. So leather cases will show wear and tear a lot more, but it's also part of the patina that it develops if you get a real leather case. The thing that might not make sense for a lot of people is that the patina takes like, a couple years to develop really well. Who's going to be keeping their devices for more than 2 years? Now, are leather iPhone cases any good for protection? Most leather cases are made out of a tiny polycarbonate frame and, there's leather wrapped around it. These products aren't going to provide the same level of drop protection as those made from PC, TPU, or TPE materials. On average, in my test group, the case edges are around 2 millimeters thick. The Apple leather case is actually closer to 1.5 millimeters thick. That is not a lot of material between the ground and your device edge. Tougher cases like Case-Defy mouse have edges that are closer to 2.5 millimeters thick, and the case material is designed to handle impacts, whereas leather is just designed to look nice. There is no way I'm purposely dropping my iPhone in a BlackBrook case from like over my head or even from chest height. Out of all the cases that I've tested, if you want something that's leathery and a little more protective, the Nomad case is a good choice. The case edges aren't as tough as other products, but they're 2.5 millimeters, so there's a bit more stuff to the corners. Now, based on my time with all these leather iPhone cases, I found that iPhone access is kind of all over the places. Some cases are great, some cases have really tight buttons, and some just have no buttons. My biggest issue with leather case companies is that they think about the leather first and the case second. For example, this is a case from Pad & Quill. It is incredibly painful to access my iPhone buttons in this. There's a lot of stabbing. I also have to give this case a wedgie in order to charge it, but the leather is full grain. It patinas really well, and it's the only case that I've come across that doesn't have actually any plastic in it. It's pretty cool. As an iPhone case, terrible. As I said earlier, access is all over the place, so if you want to know what I think are the best iPhone leather cases, do check out that video. I'll link it somewhere. Now, when it comes to price, you're going to be paying a premium for aesthetics and different handling. With the normal case, you're paying more for the protection. For example, the most expensive case in my box costs $100 US. My number one case in my entire collection of iPhone 14 cases is between $70 and $80. A PU leather case from Searle will run you around 20 bucks. The top grain cases, like the Apple leather cases, are somewhere between 50 and 60. One of my favorite cases, the full grain leathers from BlackBrook, only runs for about 50 bucks. Amazing leather, terrible drop protection. At the $60 price point, which is how much Apple's leather case costs, you can easily get a Ghost Atomic Slim, which offers more protection and just as unique of a handling experience. At the $100 price point, you can get a Case-Defy or a mouse case and still have $20 to spend on a massive burrito at Chipotle. Now, fake leather cases are much cheaper and depending on the brand, may or may not offer your iPhone much protection. It's kind of hit and miss with these guys. So that's all I had to figure out for leather iPhone cases. Again, if you want to check out the top 5 list, check out the link in the description section below. Questions, comments, leave them down there. First time watching my videos, what should they do? Hit the subscribe button, damn it. Thanks for watching.